Well, let's do that one. 7 PM is very early to finish. Kenny's in the art recording and podcasting. Anyone who
Right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the meeting of the Planning and Community Committee, being held today on 23rd of April 2024, St George's Day. Nice to see the flag flying at the park. Thank you very much. Who's responsible for getting that one?
Our community manager, we've been there.
Oh, right, very early hours.
Okay.
It's in our policies.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, Woodley Town Council meetings are now recorded, with recordings streamed live and stored on the Town Council's YouTube channel. By virtue of attending the meeting, you consent to having your image and audio recorded for this purpose. If you do not wish for your image and audio to be recorded, then please do not stay for the meeting. For those in attendance, we're not expecting a fire drill tonight, so if you hear the fire alarm, please head to the nearest fire exit and congregate at the fire assembly point by the Oakwood Centre at the front of Woodford Park. Thank you. Right, first item on the agenda, apologies, and we must have a few.
We do have a number, yes. We have apologies from councillors Baker, Bragg, Lewis, Sartorial, Singh and Taylor.
Thank you very much. And of those here, do we have any declarations of interest?
Yes, yes. Item 15, one of those listed is my neighbour.
Item 15.
Enforcement notifications.
Oh, right, okay. Right, thank you very much. Item 3, minutes of the Planning and Community Committee meeting held on the 26th of March 24. Are you happy that they're a true record of that meeting and I can sign them as such? Yes, everybody okay? Very good. Okay, item 4 on the agenda, actions and follow-ups. Review the actions and follow-ups from previous meetings. This is page 13 of the agenda. Okay. Are there any items on there that need to be discussed? Any comments need to be made or anything added to them? I think, have we got anything at all there? Or question?
Chairman, the
yes.
item 94.3.
Yeah.
Been on there since November. Are we anywhere near?
I've spoken to Councillor Shahid Yunus, who is the ward member who I approached for that, and he's following that up for me. He's going to speak to the highways and see what's actually happening.
I ask that you follow him up? Yeah,
I'm constantly doing it. I will do it though. Yeah. Okay. Any other items? Back we go. Okay, we come to the current planning applications on page 15. Okay, we'll go slightly out of order and we'll take application 240732, 86 to 88 Headley Road. First, we have a representative from interested parties here tonight. Yep. I don't know whether you want to speak. Do you want?
I mean, by all means I can, but I only came here to introduce myself.
Okay.
I don't know anyone from the parish council, so I thought it'd be best to introduce myself. Take this opportunity while I can.
And your interest is?
I'm the landlord, well, by the freeholders, so my company's quite a freehold from there.
Right, okay.
So we're renting the units out. Until then, we are responsible for the values and so on and so forth.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an application for the removal of the variation of condition following the grant of a planning permission 240153 for the proposed alterations to the existing shop front to create a total of 4 shop fronts to facilitate the subdivision of the existing retail unit on the ground floor into 4 number separate units. Condition 5 refers to the hours of use, and the variation is to increase the opening hours of the unit to only. Now, 2 only is the NISA supermarket.
What are the hours presently?
Well, what the licensing, it was from 7 till 7.
hours, the same with Tesco Express.
Yeah, but the actual times were 7 till 7, wasn't it?
Granted by planning, yes, 7 to 7.
7 till 7, and you're asking for it to be taken from 7 or 6, I think, till 2300 hours.
2300.
Yeah. But that's a licensing condition, of course. But of course, the planning permission was granted on the basis that it was going to be 7 till 7, wasn't it?
Sure, but
Yeah.
the licensing has, they are happy to proceed with 6 to 2300 hours.
They are.
The license has already been granted.
Yeah.
Issued
Yeah.
in the paperwork with this applications, application, for planning, for premises license.
Right.
It's granted in full. The neighbour did raise questions, again, there's a challenge on there, but, the legal team in the licensing did say there's no such a blanket in Woodley, as well as local. Right. And even if there was to be one, from 2300 hours to 6 AM, so we are still compliant and well within the time frame.
Okay.
And the reason for us choosing unit 2 is because it separates the neighbour. We're not touching anyone's boundary. We're in the middle.
Yes.
kind of thing. So we've left space on the right and left. We're not really, all the tenant that comes in, we're not really bothering.
Yes. Okay.
So that's the best we can do.
Right. I think I don't know quite where we go with this. I mean, we can actually look at it and say, well, if the licensing have agreed to 7 till 2300 hours.
7 to 7.
7 till, no, we've now got 7 till 23.
They have agreed 7 to 7:23.
Yeah, licensing are quite happy to go from 7 till 11. Then I don't see, is there a reason why we should not? Sorry?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
6 till 11.
Yeah, 6 till 11. Is there, yes, Carol?
Yes, the conditions are always put on for a reason. And I think the reason was pointed out by one of the residents, one of them being the closest to the houses there. I'm a bit concerned about this removal of that condition. I can see there being gatherings of people, visiting the shop or visiting the car parking area around it. I think if there was a reason to put that condition on at the beginning, I don't see any reason why it shouldn't change now.
No, I can see that. The only thing I've got the problems on is that just around the corner to that was the wine shop.
Yeah.
Which was licensed to 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Sorry, can I just hold you a moment? Yeah. It was licensed till 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So is there a difference? Is it going to be, because it's a food retail outlet as well, it's a general store, isn't it? Grocery and food. But the issue is the sale of alcohol. I think that was the licensing issue originally. So I don't know. My views are that I don't see why we can deny it. Yeah.
Bill, I agree with you. Tesco's has got the same hours, I believe, 6 to 11, and that's on a housing, more of a housing area, you could say, than just tiles. Historically, there was the off license there, which was open to 11. And again, opening hours early, historically, there was a newsagent's not far from there. So there is already a historic precedence of that. And I think we should encourage, because it's a prime site, I think we should encourage those opportunities to be open those hours.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments? Right. Well, based on that, if we were to take a vote, are you happy to take a vote at this stage?
Yeah.
All happy to take a vote. So those who are for the application or the recommendation, our recommendation to approve, please show. 3. And those against? 1.
Could have been recorded as that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you very much. That's approved.
Thank you.
Or not approved, sorry. It's recommended for approval. Make that quite clear.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We'll surely meet again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Nice to meet you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Right. I think we're quite safe now to run the normal route through the agenda. Yes, sorry, gentlemen, you're here to represent.
Yeah, you've got a couple of applications, I believe, for 4 Commonsmore Road.
Oh, right, yes.
I think we spoke about these in January.
Yes, yeah, you were here before, weren't you?
Yeah.
The first one is 4 Commonsmore Road. But
Yes,
there's also a second
Second one,
Commonsmore.
yes.
They're in obviously numerical order. The second one is third from the bottom of the page.
yes.
You might want to do those.
Yeah, I've got those styled together, so yeah, we can do those two. Yeah, we'll do those two together, and then at least if you want to stay, you're welcome to stay afterwards, but there's going to be the freedom to go. Anyway, we have two applications, 233020. This is, you say, 4 Commonsmore Road. That's a householder application for the proposed raising of the roof and loft conversion to create a habitable accommodation, 3 number dormers to the main rear elevation and 1 number dormer to the front elevation. If we do that section first, and then we'll move on to the second section. So you're here as a...
I'm a number 6 next door.
You're next door.
I am.
Okay, and I think we've had words with you before, and you've sent an objection into Wokingham Borough.
I did.
Yeah, did you want to say anything at this stage?
Not on this one particularly, really. Just there's new plans in there. I assume the new plans were in result of your comments, but I don't think they are actually. I can't see much difference apart from a bigger window.
Yeah.
For the plans. I'm not as much of an expert as you are at reading these things, so perhaps you cast your eye over it.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Robert.
Yeah, I was looking at this earlier. While I ate my dinner, there's diligence for duty. It's awful. It's top heavy. It's overbearing. It's not in keeping with the area. It's overdevelopment of the plot. It's a no from me. I think it's terrible.
Have we seen this before?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, in January.
Yes.
And this is to actually, the variation, this is to raise the roof. To make it even bigger than what we
We
saw.
saw in January, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Yes, it was revised. I don't think so. The original one that we saw previously in the year hasn't been approved yet. They've said this was revision. So that's the elevations are some of the best ones to look at. I think so. There's the original proposal that you would have considered earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And that is.
And we didn't like that then.
That is the change. So
Yeah.
the key
Well, it's just
change.
the window, is the top window.
Yeah, but we turned it
This-
down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So can I ask the process? Can I interrupt?
Yes, yeah.
So this has been sort of past the date for submissions or whatever, for about 3 months, and the Wokingham Council haven't reviewed this or put it up or anything like that yet, and he's put a new revised plan. Is that normal?
Well, as far as the applicant putting the revised
Well,
plan in,
as
or?
far as Wokingham not reviewing the plan yet, and then 3 months later, a revised plan coming in without any recommendations from them. I'm wondering why it's taking so long for them to decide on, really.
Yeah.
As you know, the whole building is surrounded by scaffolding, has been for 18 months.
Yeah.
The cable ties are broken, the scaffolding is now, the sheeting's coming off.
Yeah.
It's whipping around the electricity line, which runs across my building to it. Now, if anyone has a look, you'll see if one more bit breaks, it will strap around the electricity line.
Yes. And the roof is off?
The roof is on still, the roof is
The
there.
roof is on, is it?
Yeah,
I've got-
the target
I've got
up
through
there,
it, yeah.
but nothing's really happened. It's
No.
a bit presumptuous being up so early before planning has been approved, but my hope was planning would not be approved, and I could then say, well, can they take the scaffolding down until it is such approvals given, rather than putting up now and, because obviously it's been miserable living in the shade for 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, my comment on here was, objection from the neighbour, and no significant changes, so there's no reason why we should change our views as what we see. I mean, is that the feeling of?
There's no changes for the better, that's for sure.
No.
That's for sure.
Do we have a picture of the original?
Yeah, so that is the original there, and I think we'll note that the
Sorry, that was, you're asking for the original building?
plan or the original building.
The original building as of now,
The original, that's the, that is the original plan.
quite a big property anyway, isn't
And
it?
that is the proposal.
Yeah.
So much higher roof.
Yeah.
I think we should recommend refusal
Yeah,
for reasons as given.
given before. Okay, are we all happy to go that way? Thank you very much. So then we come down to 240772, again 4 Carmen's Moor Road.
So, do we have any idea when Woking Council will review this? Because it has been 3 months since the end of date of submission for this application.
The officers at Woking will have there's normally a legal deadline that they have to respond to an application. But if the applicant is saying we're going to revise it and put things in and says it's fine, wait for that. Planning officers are just going to sit on it until that comes in. And it's easier for them to do that than to do the work of coming up with an answer to then get a revision. They'll just say, we'll put it in a pending pile until it comes back. So hopefully this time, as soon as this committee has gone back in and that consultation deadline has passed, they'll make a decision within a week or two.
Okay, right, yeah, 240772, again 4 Carmen's Moor Road, householder application for the proposed erection of a attached single-storey outbuilding and timber pergola to the rear. This is retrospective. So the building is there. Did you want to say anything on that one at all?
Not really beyond my comments I've attached, which is, let's keep it short, it's right on the border, it's too close, it's 4 metres high, it's too high. The guttering on my side for his flat roof, which gushes water down on my side, as he's put the guttering there now. It blocks the sunlight out for half the year from my patio, rendering it pretty much unusable. I know he's applying for retrospective plan permission, but just like the first one, really, it's all down the same side. This is taking sunshine bit by bit away from my entire property, really.
Okay.
My entire property. And it's a huge issue for me. My other concern is he did mention to me before that he was going to make an outdoor kitchen. Obviously, I'm concerned about fire. I don't know if he has done or not. I haven't really contacted him recently.
Okay.
But yeah, too high, too close, blocking out the sunshine and it's
Well, again, on the, we recommended refusal on this one before. I don't see anything has changed. So, or as you say, for the better. So I'll be happy to go with the same.
I don't think you have seen this one.
I think this is just retrospective. I think this is a new
I
one.
thought we'd seen this one. I thought, didn't it
This
come?
one I haven't seen,
I think it's yet another garden building, Bill.
Ah. Right, okay, well,
Do we have any drawings, Matthew?
Yeah, it's quite difficult to see because they've included the entire property, obviously.
But those,
Oh, I see.
It's
Right.
this section.
but they're proposed to go into stores.
sorry, no, that's already.
No, on the second one.
That's what we've got at the moment, and obviously there's nothing off the back of the property
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You
The
look
proposal is to
You
have.
see the middle, that way, bit where you're circling.
No, that's an open pergola and then the closed area.
So you said it was very high.
It's 4 metres, I think. Which would be so bad, it was 2 metres back from the boundary, but it's right on the boundary, so
Well, that's not allowed, is it?
it's
It's
not.
got to be a foot from the boundary.
I did reports, Woking Council came round and said, they wrote me back to me, the chap said that he told him it's not compliant, so his choice is to make it compliant or apply for planning, and he's chosen to apply for planning, so here we are.
But even if he's got planning, it's still not allowed, is it? If it's that high.
Oh, that high, for a 2-storey extension.
Yes, of course, yes. But that wouldn't be allowed to be on the
Not permitted development.
on the boundary though, is that height?
No.
No, it would have to be recessed.
I've got a feeling I read somewhere, I was looking at this, and I've got a feeling I read somewhere that it's the same height as a fence, which is 2 metres, but it's got to be a foot from the boundary.
Okay,
I think it's a no, Bill.
yeah, we're happy to go with a no on that one. Recommend refusal.
On the basis of its height and proximity.
Yeah, to the boundary.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you again next month, probably.
Okay, we move on. 240680, 11 Catalina Close, household application proposed changes to fenestration and internal alterations. I looked at this one, but personally, I couldn't see anything at all to cause any great issues, and therefore, you know, if everybody is happy, that we go to recommend approval. 240688, 200 Harricombe Way, household application proposed hard-standing space. Now, this one, we've had one objection from a neighbour who's not an objection. He's really not to the the road safety issues and loss of green space. Yeah. Sorry, Karen, you didn't.
Yeah, I looked on, I know it's fatal to look on Google Map, but it looks as if it is taking up the amenity land next to the garage.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
I hadn't seen that bit. Have you got, can you bring that up for me, please, Matthew? I was looking at the plan and I thought, well, actually the whole point of this planning application is to put a hard standing.
Yes.
I suppose technically there's nothing to stop you just parking a vehicle on that bit of land anywhere.
Yeah.
So I was quite sort of surprised that it was actually an application. So what have I missed? As Carol says, it's on amenity land.
There, yes. There's concern about parking cars there for giving.
Oh, I
visual.
see. Yeah. Oh, yes, thanks, Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the boundary, it all depends on where his boundary is. Because some of those houses, the boundaries on the wall, 3 foot in, isn't it?
But even if it is within his ownership, I think it's, it is part of the amenity, isn't it? But the,
Yeah.
Do you see the houses on the left there?
Yeah, that's it.
That's his house. With a double garage.
Yeah, but what about the one next door? How would emergency vehicles access that one in case of a
Up
fire?
there, yes. That would be the way in.
It's not very brilliant. That's really bad English.
It would be, it would take a natural pathway. I know you've got the path, but it would take that green area away, wouldn't it?
But if it's
Yeah.
but if it's his land,
Is it?
It's down.
Yes, I suppose.
it doesn't matter in terms of planning, what
So
matters
probably
is
right,
the aesthetics.
you know. So as I say, he could just park something there anyway, couldn't he? Like that one in Headley Close that was there for goodness knows how long.
Yeah. But you see the house I mean, the house we opted, and you need to consider whether emergency vehicles can actually access them.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be an issue, Linda.
No, I think you can access it from this end.
Yeah.
No problem there, coming in that way. So
I
that's
mean, they
not
were
really-
designed to be like that.
Yeah.
For a good reason.
Hmm.
I think the impact on street scene would be unacceptable.
Yeah. I would like to see that. I'd stand there. So,
Yep. Agree with Carol's comments. Yeah.
yeah. Hey,
Interesting.
yeah. Be interested who cuts the grass. All the way along there. Right, 240711, 23 Uppingham Drive, household application for the proposed single-storey side extension, 2-storey rear extension with changes to fenestration following the demolition of the conservatory. Again, I couldn't see any reason to object to this one, although it's quite a fair size. It didn't seem to cause any issues. There's been no objections from any neighbours. Has everybody had a chance to have a look at that one? Anybody happy with it, or would you have any comments? No,
That's fine.
you're okay, right, okay, that one's fine. 240719, 19 Stonehaven Drive, household application for proposed garage conversion to create habitable accommodation with changes to fenestration. Again, didn't see any particular issues on that one. Right, everybody okay with that?
Yep.
240725. This is 18 Denmark Avenue, household application to propose single-storey rear extension, park garage conversion to create habitable accommodation along with changes to fenestration. Again, I couldn't see that it was interfering with anybody at all, so again, no comments, no.
No.
Right, so to the next one we've done, and then 240735, 83 Butts Hill Road. Household application, proposed single-storey front extension with changes to fenestration. That one, it just sort of infilled the porch. We built the porch, it didn't seem to interfere at all with anything at all there. So again, no objections.
That's fine.
Right, 240758, Sanford Farm, Mohawk Way. That is, where am I? Full application for a 2-bedroom dwelling, office and storage building with 2 roof lights and changes to landscaping. Let's sort of have a look at this one and then.
This one came last summer as well.
Yeah. We've got an objection from 6 and 7 Rose Grove, which is the Sanford Farm or London Estate. And there's some confusion over whether this is going to be habitable, isn't it, property, or whether it's going to be a gym, one part of it. Is that the one I'm looking at? I'm just trying to be getting confused over the ones I've seen. Have we got the drawing there?
Yeah. I've got, because there's quite a lot of plans on there, I haven't got, this is probably the best one to see, is the proposed block plan, and one of the floor plans, I think, is that's probably one of the best images to get an idea of what's being planned.
Oh no, it's not this one, I'm confused, I think. Any comments on this at all?
I think Carol's got something to say before Arm pulls off, Bill.
Oh, I'm looking at the papers, yeah, sorry. You be my spotter.
Yeah, we had a similar one,
Yeah.
didn't we? And I was objected to that, but I don't think I was supported, but I'm not happy about this one either. For several reasons. First of all, it says 2-bed dwelling, but I counted 3 bedrooms. So whether or not there's some, that's not on that plan, it's the one that's
Ground
floor, yes. So that was the first thing. Very concerned about the impact on the trees, the landscape, the wildlife, etc. They're supposed to have a BMES and a BMG assessment, and it's not clear that they've got that. I think there'll be an impact on the users of Furniture Road, which is a quiet area for walkers, you let children run off because there isn't any traffic along there, and this will obviously change it, etc. And what was the other one? Bedrooms. Yes, the height of it as well. I mean, it's like a lookout tower on that very small area. Certainly, I think to keeping. I mean, if there's going to be anything there, I think it ought to be less obtrusive. So I'm against it on those grounds.
Okay. So just on the plan, so there's the ground floor plan, which shows a living kitchen, dining area here, and a bedroom here. And then the first floor plan has 1 bedroom there.
But one of the drawings had 2 beds on the ground floor and 1 upstairs. Square wasn't a bed.
It was a bed.
So that's showing 1 bedroom there, and then 1 bedroom there. That's all that's being shown on there.
I can't remember which concern anyway.
There were a lot of drawings to this one.
Yes.
Just aware, I don't know how relevant it is, but there is another application for this same plot from the property at Whispering Pines. They've applied a couple of times for a container unit to be sat here, and now they're also applying for a storage unit to be used as an outbuilding as well. So
Right.
that's kind of at the same time.
Yeah. Right, okay. So any comments? What do you think? Anything, Robert?
What were the objections from people in Rose Grove?
Rose Grove. I've got the fact that he was pleased to receive 2 letters from Woodley Town Council, or else he would have had no idea there are actually 2 planning applications submitted.
Wow.
So, yeah. 240758 is a new full planning application for 2-bed dwelling, office and storage building with 2 roof lights submitted earlier. These were, it gets very confusing again.
Yes, sorry, I haven't looked at this one.
7 were approved 3 years ago. 2400799 and 22317 were approved 3 years ago. However, a new land application was submitted in July last year, a 2-bed dwelling office, and was then refused by Wokingham Council in November 23.
If you like, I can read you the original grounds, because this is basically a revision of that application that was refused. So if you would like, I can just bring that up, because it might be helpful to see the grounds under which the original proposal was refused. I can always bring up plans if you need it.
He's saying about the resident, the perimeter road is narrow. And of course, with this, it's going to be used as a, where people actually walk with their dogs, and they use it as a sort of amenity leisure area.
I mean, there's two properties off there, so you're increasing it by a third, aren't you? And I believe donkeys years ago, before Sanford Farm was even built, there was applications to put 2 houses there. And there was a big old hullabaloo then.
Right.
About the trees and things.
So this is the refusal notice for the original plan, which is saying it's inappropriate siting towards the narrowing end of this constrained plot. The proposal will result in convoluted and cramped form of development, which would be detrimental impact on the character of the area. Proposals fail to demonstrate that development will not result in any adverse impact on TPO protected trees during the construction phase, and will result in the further removal of trees and vegetation, again changing character and appearance. It would have an inadequate level of internal and external amenity for future occupiers due to excessive level of overshadowing to habitable rooms. And also that it would not result in or I'm not sure that it would not result in the net loss of biodiverse units within the site with adequate mitigation. You see, there's quite a lot of trees that they're building around.
They called it a woodland walk. I think that's.
It doesn't feel a very big area either. You know, if you actually go there and look, it doesn't actually seem a very big area in which to put that. And those houses behind are actually quite close. They're quite close.
Bring up if I can. Original site plan.
When this came to us, first of all, did we recommend refusal on that? You know, that one you just looked at that Wokingham Borough refused. I take it we recommended refusal, did we?
Concerns regarding access. Stretch perimeter is not currently used by motor vehicles. There are no driveways, no road, but the road can be used by walkers and cyclists. So there'd be a conflict. They were the roads that were clear. That's the original proposal compares to new one.
Not a lot then.
No.
Not as
Just slightly smaller.
it looks like
second
this,
floor.
this element might be slightly smaller if you take that tree line. That's probably. Yeah, and so this element of the building is closer to the rest of the building. You've got this little gap here, and also where this building pushes over this tree line here, it's slightly further back. That's probably the only footprint side of things. That's probably the only.
So, are we minded to recommend refusal on that one based on?
Using the same grounds.
Good, yeah.
Ditto, yeah.
Okay. Very much. We come on to 240774, which is 2 Victor Way, and this is a householder application for proposed erection of a close board fence on the boundary of a dwelling following the demolition of the existing brick wall on the boundary of the dwelling. Didn't see any reason to have any objections to. I just wonder why they want to take the brick wall down and put a fence up, whether it's unstable or whether just for appearance sake. But I don't see any reason. It's not altering the position. It's just to replace it.
If it's not altering the position, then it's fine.
Yeah. Everybody happy with that? Yep. Right, 134 Butts Hill Road. This is 240783. Householder application for proposed single-storey side, single-storey rear extension with changes to fenestration. We got an objection from 114 Butts Hill Road. See reason, I've got, see reason for recent refusal.
One one-
Recommended, sorry, see reason for recommended refusal.
£10.
Sorry?
Did you say 114?
Yeah, 114, it's great, if you look at the way the house is number, yeah, on the plan, it's 114 and then 13, I couldn't work that out, because you've got the plan, the site plan.
Yeah, I can read the site plan, which,
Their application, on the application, it showed, I looked at that, because I thought, well, what effect are you gonna have on 134 if it's 114? If you look at that and blow that piece up, you can. Yeah, you see 114 just above it?
that's
there.
13413, yeah.
Yeah, and then it goes 114 next door to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's where the entrance to Woodley Farm used to be.
is it? Ah. Right. That
But-
would count for the,
But why they've numbered it like that, I have no idea, but that's where, so the one to the north of the red block, I'm sure that's where the entrance to Woodley Farm used to be.
right. But then, well, the next 114 is a neighbour of 134.
Yeah.
I've never sort of counted the houses down Bucksville Road, but it obviously goes that way.
There are little anomalies all over the country
Yeah.
like that, and there'll be
Yeah.
a logical reason from the authority or Royal Mail or someone.
Right.
Yes, I know why it is, because when they've numbered it down, they've taken the gap Woodley Farm. They haven't put as many houses in.
Right.
That's why it does that.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. So, yes, anyway. What was the?
So what was the objection on one?
No, it wasn't an objection, I don't think, from a neighbour. Oh, sorry, there was.
114 objected, didn't they?
That's still very serious for recommended refusal. I did look, but, yeah. 6 Headley Road, no, I didn't print it off. Have you got the refuse, the objection?
Yeah. Give me a second.
Meant to print that one, I think.
Threatens to inhibit the natural light reaching my window, place a crucial role in illuminating my staircase.
Yeah, is this a side window?
Side extension due process not in harmony with the character of our neighbourhood. Restricting and cluttering discordant appearance that would diminish the visual appeal of the community. Garage is originally situated at the end of the garden with the side access left open, kept a sense of space and openness.
We've got a copy of the plan. Have a look,
The
see.
front elevation.
Yeah.
And the proposed?
They're all in a line together.
Is that it?
Right. That's proposed, they're all proposed.
Oh, so all the bottoms are proposed,
All the
the top is
proposed, top is-
existing, so you can kind of
yeah.
compare top down.
Yeah.
Well, how's that going to block his landing light?
I don't know.
And that would be within the design of it anyway, with the light,
Yeah.
It's that space
That's
there,
it,
isn't it?
yes.
Suggesting it's a meter gap at the nearest point of the rear there.
Can't see that it's going to cause that much of a problem, is it?
with street view. I don't think they are. Are they new houses there?
No,
They're
not
the old
well,
ones still. I think they're the old ones, aren't they? That doesn't help with my numbering theory then.
Real bleaching.
It sounded good, didn't it?
Well, what you found was there a long time ago, isn't it? It's been gone a long while.
Yeah, it's the next one's up, isn't it? It's Woodley Farm. That's what Woodley Farm used to be. These are older ones.
Right.
Is that an application number, right?
So,
Just checking on the.
I can't object to that plan. I think his thing about the window is a bit of a
yeah.
gripe as opposed to an actual physical thing. If it was a two-story
Can we
extension,
look at the block plan again, just to see how far that would extend? Yeah, it's there. And it's only a single story.
yeah. No, I can't object to that at all.
Anybody else Got any other views to the contrary? No, okay, we recommend approval on that one. Right, over we go. This is 00793 2 Shackleton Way, application to vary condition of planning consent, condition refers to approved plans, and the variation is minor amendments of the previous approved details, retention of the first floor side windows and ground floor front square bay windows with proposed open front porch and changes to fenestration. It really is just this variation. Condition 2, retention of the first floor side window, which it was, that's what they're trying to remove, that variation of condition 2. So it was refused on that basis. Got a picture of it? So that's obviously a very good reason for refusal. Slide elevation, is it?
That's approved, that's what they set on there, but other times approved, and that's what.
The front doors
That's
changed.
completely different. I don't quite understand that, because that's not even, that's not an addition, that's a completely different.
Well, they're front and rear elevations, aren't they? Top and bottom is a front elevation, bottom is a rear elevation.
Yeah, no, this is, I think, when I downloaded the images, this is what they claimed was the approved plans.
Right.
Yeah.
So that would be showing the variation.
Right.
But that variation,
right.
what I'm saying is that normally that variation is minimal, but actually all of this build is, the red markation line is what was approved.
It's more than just a condition of condition 2, isn't it?
Well, I read it slightly differently to that. I thought that would have been, the plan would have been approved. This is just to make those 2 little changes.
Approved, yeah, it reads as approved floor plans. Proposed floor plans. Normally I would, from every other one I've seen, I would say that that means that that's what the,
Yeah.
that's what's been approved in the original, and the variations is that one, but
Should be different.
I have no objections.
I fully understand. It doesn't seem to be truthful of what they're actually asking on here.
I thought it was going to be about the window.
Yeah.
Overlooking, and they didn't want to have, you know, it glazed or.
Yeah, but it's more
Obscure
than that.
glaze.
So what do?
the original space to it.
Says retention of the first floor side windows were those 2 strict ones, weren't they?
Yeah.
And the ground floor front square bay windows with proposed open front porch. So the front porch did show a door with a small square window beside. Is that
So
what it was referring to?
they've confused matters, I think, by putting in what is the existing with the proposed, which is making it quite difficult to read, because that, I'm sorry, it's sideways, but that is, on the original application, that's the proposal, and there's no windows up there. And on the proposal, there's now 2 windows up there. Let me see if I can just work out if there's anything else on the front. There's a window here, so this wasn't being shown before this.
But it says retention of the first floor side windows. It doesn't say addition of.
That's those up there.
And the original existing elevations show, again, sideways,
That one.
that one, which has been,
I think that was it. They wanted that one removed because of any overlooking. So they've said, okay, but we want a window, we'll make them
The
the
slits.
normal ones.
So yeah, the loss of that by that window there,
Yeah.
they're asking for two little thin.
There is some, let's have a quick look. A comment there about those.
There you go.
I don't think that would impact anybody.
No, not so.
So one room or a separate room?
That would be.
Probably two, isn't it? Wasn't there, I think?
Yeah, so it's the main bedroom there, so that,
Oh, yeah,
so they're putting, supposedly putting a bed there, and then there's two small slotted windows there.
I think it looked quite nice, actually. It looked aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, you spell it, I'm not.
Okay, so what's the feelings on that one? We recommend approval?
Yep.
Yep, okay.
It'll have to be very light, won't it?
No. 240835, 1 Armstrong Way, household application for proposed single-storey rear extension with one roof light and changes to fenestration, followed by a garage conversion to create a habitable accommodation and demolition of existing conservatory. 835, we don't have anything on that.
No objection.
One concern from a neighbour, number 19, reparking during the build. It wasn't an objection to the build, it's just a condition, or perhaps we could ask them to take into consideration the neighbour's concerns over parking during the build. You know, they said really, that was the only objection, not an objection. It wasn't, made it quite clear they weren't objecting to the build, but only the fact that they were concerned about the parking.
I wouldn't even list it as a concern if I was having an extension built, which I have had. There's been a skip on the drive and I've parked on the road.
Yeah, I
that's
think,
a
but the
given
concern
thing,
with this, is if you look at where it is in the, it's, if they were parking in the road, it would make it very difficult,
Yeah,
accessing safety points. I think that was the only
but
thing.
I don't think you can specify that. If they're parked within the realms of legality, it doesn't, it's not going to be a,
Yeah, it's on that corner, isn't it?
you know, so they could park. Yeah, so they could park there, yeah.
Well, that's the, yeah. Part there, not so much there, because that's the, coming off the main road, isn't it?
Hmm.
I mean, it always is, as you say, it's a problem, but, I don't think it's worth asking them to take that into consideration.
Definitely hurts, at least with this, with us, the neighbour with this.
Okay, quite happy with that one, yeah? Yep. Then we come on to householder application for the proposed construction of an outbuilding for habitable accommodation. This is retrospective. It's 85 Commonsmore Road, 240852. I don't know whether you wanted to say a few words on this, Greg?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I've been lobbied by the immediate neighbour of 85. I believe it's either 87 or the. This householder at 85, I believe the company's Calm Construction. They built what appears to be a structure which is for people to live in the garden. There's sewage pipes being put up. It's not had planning application or planning permission to be put up. And it doesn't, as I understand it, it doesn't comply with building regs, but the owners put subsequent application or planning application in. The concern, I think, from the neighbour is that her light is going to be impacted, and also she's going to have people living inside this structure in the garden next door. But there is a bit of antisocial behaviour by this construction guy, which I don't know that impacts into the planning process, but that's a Thames Valley Police issue, which I'll be taking up separate.
because he's been intimidatory and aggressive to the two neighbours either side who are single women. But the fact is, this is a type of planning issue which has reared its head in Early and in other places, where people buy a house and then put a structure in the garden and then convert it for people for their extended family to live in the garden effectively. And I think we need to be very careful in Woodley that this isn't a trend that starts taking place in Woodley. So I would recommend that this is objected to. And what I'm hoping, the owners of the other houses who are objecting have written to Wokingham Borough Council Planning Enforcement repeatedly, asking them to force the owner to take this thing down. I don't know if that's going to be happening, but that's the background, and that's why I'm raising it on their behalf.
Okay. I think it's just the one on the plan, which on one plan it shows it's going to be a gym, and then the other plan is going to be habitable use. There's a confusion over to what it's going to be used for.
Yeah.
But I think the latest application was for habitable use, wasn't it? The gym is no longer a consideration.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think, we've come up against this before, and we discussed it at the last meeting,
Yeah.
isn't it? So, where we are. with
Every
these.
meeting it seems to be.
Yeah, and we've asked for guidance really from Wokingham Borough, from the planning officers on this situation, because I don't know whether we got anything back on that. But
I circulated the comments from the head of planning at Wokingham, and there is guidance out there about what you are permitted and what you're not permitted to do. I think the reason this one has come up as retrospective is because when they went to check on the build, they found it was 10 centimetres higher than permitted development. If it had been 10 centimetres or 11 centimetres lower or whatever, it would have been absolutely fine under permitted development. But because it's over, they've had to apply. And the only other thing I know is obviously Councillor Baker regularly says that from a living in another building, people are allowed to do it under legislation if they take all the meals in the house. And that's where, from an enforcement issue, it's very, very difficult to know when people aren't and are not. So
With a kitchenette in it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing is, of course, the council might start jumping on these and go, oh, band A council tax, please. It's a separate dwelling, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of my neighbours' clients is having an issue of somebody in their back garden, and it seems to be fine. And I do think the council does. I think we should object to this for the reasons that Greg's outlined. And I think we should ask the council for black and white explanation of what is allowed, because, people are just going to keep on doing this.
Yeah.
I think I would, on the point of asking, I think, as I say, Marcia, the head of planning, directed us to all the legislation. So I don't think we would get any more information or guidance from them. They've already advised us that they're not going to provide any. They will be providing training later in the year. They're aiming to have a training plan for town and parish councils to go on, but they're not going to provide us anything more now other than directing us to those relevant bits of legislation.
And those relevant bits of legislation point us to the fact that it is acceptable.
If it had been 10 centimetres lower,
yes,
that
but basically
would
to
be
build
a
a
planning permission.
Mm.
And I'm not certain from a planning perspective as well, although the plans are there for that. If subsequently if you build that as an outdoor and then put a kitchen in it, I'm not sure whether you actually need planning permission to subsequently put a kettle in or a microwave and then it builds up, so it makes it very difficult.
So all the borough planners are looking at is the 10 centimetres height alteration, and if that's acceptable to them, this will be passed.
I believe so, and as long as they then, as we've said many times, say it's ancillary to the domestic use of the house. And then if someone feels locally that it is being lived in and that's not it hasn't got use for that, then they will need to put in a request for enforcement to say they're living in it and they shouldn't be living in it. And that's when Woking would need to go and check to see whether someone is living in the property. And
Paying £800 a month for it.
Yeah.
That's a sort of separate issue to the
Yeah.
planning issue.
But as you say, it's hard to actually determine that they are doing everything but taking their meals in there. Well, whether they can do. Right, well, is there a strong enough reason for us to go for a recommended refusal based on what we understand? Yes, Carol.
It is a landlocked site, so it would be quite difficult for it to be a separate dwelling. It'd have to go through the house to get, so in that sense, I'm a little bit happier, if that's word, with it. But it's like a lot of things, they put it right at the end of the garden, so it doesn't impact them. But it's actually impacting the house behind, presumably King's, whatever.
This is a good view, so these are the properties that back onto it, and our building will be around about here.
Yeah.
And that, all over there is the property that it belongs to.
Can I ask Greg, the two neighbours that have objected, are they in Colemanmore Road or are they at the back?
They're
at the back.
in Colemanmore Road.
They live in Colemanmore Road, so they're not impacted by the positioning of it as such down the bottom of the garden.
One neighbour has said that it would affect, it's affecting her garden and the light coming into the garden.
Right.
But, apart from that, I think the only other thing that they've said is that they're aware that sewage pipes have been put through, so they're obviously going to be putting a toilet in there.
Plan show toilet, and you can do that, apparently.
Right.
You know, which is, we might all think it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, hell of a run, isn't it?
Yeah.
So where do we go? Do we think we've got reason to refuse it or?
Height, yes, on the high ground.
But then, yeah, the building itself would have been approved if it had been 10 centimetres less. Okay, we can go with the height, can't we? But, you know.
Could they express concern about the impact on the rear neighbours? I don't know if we actually sent a letter to them.
What's at the rear of that? Can we have a look at that side of it? It's Kingston, is it Kingston Close? I don't think it's as far down as that.
Norton Road.
You know what's at the back of it, Greg?
I'm on the wrong side.
Yes, it's the north side, Carol, it's Norton Road.
Oh, yes, I'm totally wrong side.
The chair.
It looks like it's 44, 42, that would be those back gardens there.
Can we do anything about the retrospective part of it? We complain about, I don't know.
Well, the fact it's only retrospective because the original plans weren't showing that 10 centimetres height. It's by mistake of the building.
At the same time, when I wrote to Marcia, I did also say that the committee at that meeting, which I think was the last one, had once again noted concern about the number of retrospective. We still put out advice not to do it, but not many people that are putting planning applications in or not are looking at our website for information on that anyway. So I think it's it is happening, and I'm not entirely certain there's very much that you can do to stop that.
There's a lot of buildings at the end of the garden.
Yeah.
I think, Chair, based on the height issue, I think we can have an objection on that, whether or not that will be upheld or not. And that would be the impact on that rear neighbour.
Yeah, okay. We're all happy with that one? So we would object or we recommend refusal on the height.
That's the only thing we can apparently do so, isn't it? Which is grumblings of Mr. Horskins don't really count, do they? Which was an objection.
Okay, we'll go that way then. Thank you very much. Right, we move on. Yeah, you are free to go, obviously, but I know you want to stay. No. Right, 2408618 Lavenham Drive, Woodley, household application for proposed single-storey front extension to create a porch, first floor side extension, part single, part first floor rear extension with changes to fenestration. Where are we? Lavenham. We had one objection from a neighbour re car parking. This one I had a look at the plan and I couldn't see where this neighbour was coming from actually. Objection, one neighbour re car parking obtrusive to neighbour. And yet if you look at the plan, to me it's so far away that I can't see how it would be classed as obtrusive to the neighbour.
If I remember right, the original plan has the parking just on the corner of that front of the block. And now they're proposing to use the entire of the front frontage.
So that's 1460.
They could do with that.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I don't see
something down the curb, couldn't you? Yeah.
you take it to the main building. Both is, I don't know, it just didn't seem to be an issue.
Well, it's not like any parking front. It doesn't look so good, but we can't do much about it.
No, well, preferable parking on Lebanon Drive, I suppose, break the problem, but there you go. What do we all think?
No objection.
An objection? No, okay. That's that one. And we go on to Rochester Avenue, is it? No, a minute, where are we? Where am I? Losing myself.
Yeah, Rochester 16, 862.
862, that's it, yeah. This is 16 Rochester Avenue, household application, proposed lot conversion to create habitable accommodation with rear facing dormer, insertion of 2 number roof lights to the front elevation of the existing roof with changes to fenestration. So, there's no objections from any neighbours. There didn't seem to be any great issues with this one.
No.
No. All right. Okay. And 17 Silver Fox Crescent, 240864, household application for the proposed garage conversion to create habitable accommodation, single story side extension, single story rear extension with changes to fenestration. Again, I looked at that one. I don't know whether anybody else has got any issues with it. That's all right, yeah. 44A Tippings Lane, 240884, household application for the proposed single story rear extension with changes to fenestration. Again, I couldn't see anything of an issue on that one. But anybody else have any comments? No. And finally, where are we? Fitzroy.
910 Sanford.
We've done that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 240.
That's a different application. It's exactly the
Oh,
same.
right,
It's
yeah.
exactly the same plot.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's the same plot.
Right.
It's a different application.
240910. Household application for proposed construction of a single story outbuilding to create a store and workshop. And I put those together up the top. That's why I've missed it, I think. But Sanford Farm, yeah.
I apologise, I haven't downloaded these.
Right.
We can obviously look at them on
Yeah.
there, but you'll obviously know that as they're proposed,
Yes.
and that is give or take in almost exactly the same location as the
house.
Yes. Yeah.
It's quite big, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
But single story.
I'd still be concerned about the impact on the,
On the actual roadway and
yeah. Not so much the roadway, because I don't think it's going to add any more people, assuming the workshop is for the house. But I think the impact on the trees.
Yeah. Well, are we happy to go with the same comments as we did for the earlier application? Here are those, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. And then 240967, 33 Fitzroy Crescent, household application proposed single story front extension to create a porch.
Yep.
And I saw no objections. No. Okay, right, that's the current application completed for the agenda. And planning decisions, to note the planning decisions on page 17. I think we came out, there wasn't too many alterations. I think we've approved endorsing the council recommendations. I think everything we suggested they went with. So big tick to us. And planning appeals. Just the 144 Coppice Road. And the appeal was dismissed. On this one, that was the subdivision of the site erection of two-storey site extension to form one terrace dwelling associated parking. Council submitted objections to the proposal and the appeal was dismissed. So that one is dealt with. Prior approval submission, just to note, 18 Cops Mead, it's the application for a single story rear extension. This is just a prior approval. And then the following tree preservation orders, if you've got any comments at all on any of those. Nope. Item 10, transportation and highways, to receive an update from County Council's Community Speed Watch. I don't think we can do much on that one. We're still waiting. Actually, the police have accepted everything that our cameras and everything else, and it's just waiting now for.
So the last meeting was approval for the locations.
Yeah. So we're waiting for David to come back on that, who's away at the moment, but once he's back, then I think we're going to go with the first, which was the Oak Drive one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
With your prior notice.
Sorry?
Making sure you have prior notice, I agree.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
As I say, come out there and get gold. Right, highways issues, to highlight and discuss any highways noted by members, anything at all? No? Community issues, highlight and discuss any recent community issues noted by members. Carol?
Yes, I mentioned under this heading of the last meeting that I've been invited to a workshop, the Berkshire Nature Recovery Initiative, I think it's probably called. I went to the workshop on Saturday. It was very interesting, and it was inviting people to discuss how they thought their local areas could be improved, what's wrong with them, or where we could go from there. And in particular, it was looking at linking green spaces. And the map that had gone out with the agenda was showing a linkage, in particular for our area, which was from the campus, university campus side, through to Bullmarsh Open Space, Bullmarsh Park, the allotments, through to the playing fields, Highwood, South Lake, and so on. I wasn't sure how the hedgehogs were going to manage to get across the 3 times, but we may not get to that. And somebody from early was showing how they had developed these linkage of green spaces by using maps and trying to create areas that were green and safer for wildlife. It's a continuing process, and just to say I did attend and hoping to do some more work on it, and I'll report back next time.
Thank you. When's the next meeting? How often do these meetings?
Not said, because at the moment they're doing workshops throughout the county.
Right.
This was the Woking one. There's one coming up in Reading. There's been one in South Bay, whatever. So I think they're going to collate everything from each of those workshops and then produce this strategy.
Good.
But it's something I think we weren't invited to it, which I'm sure make a comment on when I have the opportunity. There only seem to be spaces for working borough councillors. So I ticked the box public body, which I thought, and I think they did miss out there, but they should have invited parish council.
Yeah, there should be like an appointed person.
Yes,
Yeah.
because we're much.
Yes, you know what's
We're
happening.
closer to the ground.
Yeah.
So, going to raise that point, and it may be that we can develop something with them and try and get some connections to our green spaces.
If I remember rightly, it was with the Wokingham and Early councils that were particularly concerned with that area, around the Bullmarsh area with the university,
Well,
wasn't
yes,
it?
the friend of Bullmarsh Open Space have been
Yeah.
looking after that.
Yeah.
So, and we've got tree planting and protecting the paths, but it's a wider area.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. Right, no other community issues? No. Publications information, to note the receipt of the Berkshire Association of Local Councils, March 24 and April 24. Okay. Future agenda items. Any suggestions? No, no, okay. Publicity and website. Consider suggestions for items to be publicised. Done the speed watch, haven't we? Or whether the next publication, or we've done something on the speed watch, haven't we?
We're waiting for people to go live and then kind of get some direction from councillor Bragg and councillor Taylor really as to what they'd like us to do in terms of
Okay.
supporting that. So I think as soon as that's up, I know they're going to do a bit of trial with those kits, and as soon as they're confident with that, I think they'll be out of other stuff for that when they need to.
Yeah. With the D-Day celebrations, how's that going? I know this may not be this part of this committee, but
I think it's fine, it's a community issue. So yes, so
Yeah.
Anushka, as communication manager, is managing that event at the moment. She's done a lot of work in terms of getting some stall holders and people involved and some entertainment and things. We have band organised, we have fencing organised. There's posters that she's done that have been put up, and we're starting social media.
Yeah, it's on socials, yeah, it's in on
yeah,
socials.
I'm sorry.
We met with the carnival committee as well, because obviously there's a bit of an overlap in terms of organisations, so they've stuff coming in on the same day, so we've works there.
Yeah.
So that's sort of normal.
You use their fences.
In a funny sort of way, it was more the other way around, that it might
Oh,
be
right.
a bit of an issue, but
Right.
actually we worked it out, so.
Okay.
It's all good.
To be lighting the beacon that we used for the
Yeah, for the.
the Jubilee
Yeah.
in the middle of the park. So that's
Oh, good. Right, okay. Item 15, enforcement issues on page 19 of the agenda. Don't know if there's anything that right addition of side windows, we've got that one. Breach of condition parking, manual church. Okay, that one. Roadbusters, Cotsmead, manual church. Porter cabins on site without planning permission again there, yeah. Linden Road. And Nightingale, I don't think there's anything, anybody got any comments on any of those that?
I'm just surprised that the church hadn't got planning permission, if I didn't know they needed planning permission.
I would think that would be more likely be the issue that they weren't aware that they needed it, you know. I mean, they've obviously been through all the planned applications for the extension and everything else has been done.
What do you think?
But the porter cabin was used as a temporary, I thought, for the food bank, wasn't
Still
it?
used now for.
It is
food
for the food
bank,
bank, yeah.
And the other one is used for youth activities.
Right.
So if it was temporary, how is it being?
Some while, but yeah, I suppose really if there's a porter cabins there, they apply for plan application, you know, perhaps they can continue to keep it there, but obviously they've got to apply. Okay. That is it. Thank you very much to everybody for attending the meeting. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, Chairman Bill.
thank you very much.